Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Tailosive Tech live on Twitch. And yes, that is today, as I've seen so many people already bring up coming into this live stream. People are saying, oh, is that today? As soon as they get the notification, there's been a ton of people in the Discord have been saying the same thing. Yes, for those who didn't know, the Pixel 4 actually hasn't been launched yet. I know you've seen hands-on videos of it. I know we've seen tweets of the back of the design. We've seen the front of the design. We've seen Google talking about the Pixel 4 and its features for months and months and months, but there has technically still not been an event for it, which is also going to be today. We're probably going to see a little bit more than just the Pixel 4, though. We're going to see an updated version of the Google Home Mini. Now it's called the Google Nest Mini, and it will have a built-in wall mount of some kind. There will be a Pixelbook Go, which I'm anticipating is going to start at $700 and probably be more expensive than what people are willing to pay for it. You will be able to watch the keynote here with me. I am going to be able to capture the stream audio as well, so you'll be able to hear it. I have it muted right now. But I agree with you. I have no idea why this announcement needs an event. This is something that could easily be a website refresh, especially when Google has tweeted so much of the new features. We've seen so many of the pictures already. And already, like, so many of the tech specs have been leaked as is. B&H, photo and video website, actually published the Pixel 4 on their website already. You can't order it yet, but you can reserve it for later or whatever. But they've already given us some very, very disappointing stats about the Pixel 4 specifications, which people are not too excited to hear about. For one, the starting price is the same as last year, so it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but I still don't think it's very good, especially given what they're offering. For one, the regular Pixel 4 has a worse battery than the Pixel 3, and they're adding a 90 hertz display. Now, I like the 90 hertz part. I'm all for adding higher hertz displays on our smartphones, but if you're not going to increase the battery size year over year, and you're adding a 90 hertz display on a phone that already had a really bad battery life, the Pixel 3, which I used for an entire week and a half, I think, as my daily, that Pixel 3 battery life was atrocious. So to find out that they're making that worse and adding a 90 hertz display has me very, very concerned for that phone costing $800. The other disappointing thing we learned from the B&H tech specs, these could end up being wrong. I'm not saying they're confirmed, but it's most likely correct. It's an 8 megapixel shooter on the front. iPhone 11 at $100 cheaper has a 12 megapixel shooter. So it's a smaller sensor on the front, and also the last Pixel 3, as you guys remember, had two cameras on the front, a wide angle and a regular. This one doesn't have that, just has the one 90-degree wider angle, but no more dual camera on the front in exchange for a dual camera on the rear, which they used to mock people for not. We don't have to have a dual camera. I can't tell if it's starting yet, but we're getting there. It's probably going to start pretty quickly here, and then I'll unmute it once it officially begins. But the dual camera is a 16 megapixel f2.4 telephoto lens and a 12.2 megapixel f1.7 regular lens. So the regular lens is pretty decent. I'm happy with the performance of that so far, but the telephoto lens has me concerned because it's an f2.4, which for a phone that's known for having the best, smartphone and a camera, sorry, that almost encompasses the Pixel a little bit better. It's the best camera in a smartphone. That's what they always brag about. F2.4 is a pretty poor low light aperture. To give you guys perspective, the telephoto lens on my 11 Pro, this is an f2.0. So the telephoto lens is already going to have worse low light performance than pre-existing phones. Regular lens is fine, but there's no ultra wide. In a year where so many different smartphone companies went forward with having the ultra wide lens in favor of telephoto, especially the Galaxy S10e and the iPhone 11, Google decided, nah, everybody wants an ultra wide, we're going to go with the telephoto. So I cannot wait to see how Google is going to walk through that excuse on stage as to why they went with a telephoto and not an ultra wide. And how all of the fans are suddenly going to flip-flop from all year saying, I want ultra-wide, give us more ultra-wide, I want more ultra-wide, I don't really care about telephoto, until this phone comes out, and I imagine all the YouTubers are suddenly going to say, hey, having a telephoto is really helpful. Probably you can't use the zoom lens in low-light photography. We might, but it would have to work a lot harder if it's a 2.4 aperture, which is not very good for the end of 2019. A year ago, that would have been average, but now that's kind of dated. Not to mention the design of this phone, which I think is the biggest issue with it, is the fact that it just does not look like a 2019 phone. The phone they're showcasing and all the ads we've seen for it looks like a phone from 2 years ago. It does not look like a phone that's going to carry the flagship lineup into 2020. This looks like a dated design, which there's nothing really wrong with dated designs as long as you're saving money. But that's not the situation here. Okay, it's officially 7 a.m. This is the time they said the event would start. Looks like it's still music so far. But dated designs are okay if you're saving money. That's my point. This is a step backward. Like, how often do you see smartphones year over year see an increase, not an increase, a decrease in screen-to-body ratio, an increase in bezels? Because that's what's happening this year. Because no one liked the design of the Pixel 3 XL, they decided to go backwards, add more bezel to the phone, and they're not even lowering the price point because they got to add all these other things. And yes, the other disappointing spec that B&H confirmed for us this morning was that the Pixel 4 cannot hit 4K at 60. Still, on any lens, it cannot record 4K at 60. The front-facing camera cannot do anything at 60 FPS. 1080p, 720p, can't do anything. 10R is backward in resolution, and it's cheaper. It was $250 cheaper than the iPhone 10. You see my point? If you're going backwards, you better be lowering the price point. They're not lowering the price point here. They're moving backwards in multiple ways and still charging the same amount. Is this like a little intro?
You know where we're going? We have this idea that in the future, you can get help wherever you are for whatever you need.
Hey,
It's in the air.
there's our gestures.
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going? Have you seen any of this stuff?
Never been here.
Come on in.
Thank you.
I'm not necessarily designing this for myself. I'm designing for people out there that
Was that a new
really
Google
take
Home?
this in their home.
There's a lot of sensors and processors and machine learning, things that are uniquely Google.
When you combine the old
Oh, no.
technology
AirPod
and
clones.
something
Oh, no.
human,
They're already
that's
unveiling
where
it.
Magic happens.
This vision to me is really compelling because we can create a new generation of products that are truly helpful.
It helps you from the background rather than the foreground. And your foreground is your life.
Oh,
Big
God.
picture, what's the end game?
It's about making it easier every day.
Making what easier?
Life.
Making life easier.
Yes.
They already unveiled half of the new hardware. Hey, okay.
Let's take a look.
You hold still
Here we
for
go.
astrophotography. I have it turned up as much as I can
Morning.
without peeking.
Morning. Thanks so much for joining us here in New York City, and for
Why is
those
it
on the live
delayed?
stream for joining us around the world. Thanks so much. We're going to spend the next hour
Ugh.
talking about the problems we're working.
How about the problem of the
Spend
audio?
next hour talking about the problems we're working to solve for
There.
our users.
That's better.
And the ways we're delivering help for the way people need it when they need it.
I know Marquez is
We'll
at the
also
event.
take you into our labs with writer and cultural commentator Baratunde Thurston to hear from the folks at Google who personally develop, design, and bring these products to life. Now, if you look across
We have them
all
to
of
blame.
Google's products, from search to maps, Gmail to photos, our mission is to bring a more helpful Google for you.
Is he supposed to look like
Creating
Tim Cook?
tools that help you increase your knowledge, success,
Off-brand Tim
health,
Cook.
and happiness. Now, when we apply that mission to hardware and services, it means creating products like these.
Ew. Oh, you're just unveiling them all now? Okay.
New Pixel phones, wearables, laptops,
Was there a watch?
and Nest devices for the home.
Wearables? You mean headphones?
Each one is thoughtfully and responsibly designed to help you in your everyday without intruding on your life. Now, in the mobile era, smartphones change the world. It's super useful to have a powerful computer everywhere you are.
Yeah. That's
But
why I have a
it's even
Chromebook.
more useful when computing is anywhere you need it, always available to help.
Yeah, wired headphones.
Now, you heard me talk about this idea with Baratunde, that helpful computing can be all around you.
Thank you,
Ambient
Flyer, for the
computing.
bits.
Your devices work together with services and AI, so help is anywhere you want it, and it's fluid. The technology just fades into the background when you don't need it. So the devices aren't the center of the system. You are.
I don't
That's
think
our
Google's
vision
excited for their own
for
hardware.
ambient computing. The Google Assistant plays a critical role here.
They're like,
It
yeah,
pulls
there's the
everything
hardware,
together
whatever.
And gives you a familiar, natural way to get the help you need. Our users tell us they find the Google Assistant to be smart, user-friendly, and reliable. And that's so important for ambient technology. Interactions have to feel natural and intuitive. Here's an example. If you want to listen to music, the experience should be the same, whether you're in the kitchen, you're driving in your car, or hanging out with friends.
Siri, play
No
this.
matter what you're doing, you should just be able to say the name of a song, and the music just plays without you having to pull out a phone and tap on screens or push buttons.
Oh, we hate tapping
So
screens.
think about how this vision plays
Ugh.
out in the home,
Thank you, Expos
where
One.
ambient technology can make life so much easier. When you wake up in the morning, your home knows what you need to start your day. You can get your commute, find out when your first meeting starts, maybe play some music on whatever speaker or screen is nearby.
It's like my watch can do that.
And when you leave your house, your lights, thermostat, door locks, security cameras, they all just know what to do. And your devices go silent and turn off notifications at night when you want to relax without technology interrupting or distracting you.
This is how technology
So
works.
throughout your home, technology works as a single system instead of a bunch of devices doing their own thing.
So where's your desktop?
Now we can bring this ambient computing vision to gaming as well.
Oh,
With
Google.
Stadia, our new generation cloud gaming platform.
Masters of gaming, Google.
Aiming to deliver the best games ever made to almost any screen in your life.
So Minecraft?
So I'm excited to share an update with y'all.
Y'all?
Stadia will be available on November 19th.
Oh, goody. I'll have to test that out myself. Curb is calling Google Pixel
So
Buds
you'll be able to play
egg
games
buds.
wherever you want. On your TV, your laptop, even your Pixel, which will be the first phone to support Stadia when it launches.
No
We're
thanks.
also creating a few areas to create more human interactions with technology, like Motion Sense and the new Google Assistant for Pixel 4.
Can you?
So instead of being glued to your phone, you can use quick gestures and voice commands. And then
That's
get
the
back to
first
your
time
day.
he said Pixel 4.
That push for quicker, more natural interactions
Thank you, Green
is
Tech.
leading us in new hardware directions too, extending the phone's capabilities in new ways. Let's take a look.
This is clearly a time machine. And you're
Yeah,
pretending
exactly.
you're using it to test earbuds. That's a great cover story. Right, left, up, down. Hello.
Hi.
Isabel? I know you and your team led the design for the earbuds.
Really
The last
wanted
one?
it to just be a simple, tiny little dot floating in your ear. What is a simpler form than a circle? And how insanely tiny can we make it? Because there's like two computers.
Not
in
as
there.
tiny as
Those are
AirPods.
floating computers in your
Yes.
head.
Yeah.
Where did you get that idea?
Do you remember how you felt when you first got the design brief for what these earbuds were supposed to do?
I said it looked like AirPods.
Certainly the assembly is a really challenging part of this. All of these pieces have to go together with sub-millimeter precision. I don't think I would have imagined we'd be able to build things with this kind of processing power this small. There's a
Apple
lot of
did it
sensors,
3 years ago. I don't know what
processors,
you're
a
talking
little bit like
about.
building a ship in the bottle. What we've managed to do here is not just make great headphones, but really putting in all of the other things that are uniquely Google about this, the ability to process your voice and to make a call clear even when you're riding a bicycle down the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Wow, microphones on
Software,
them.
A lot of machine learning. It's the magic that powers the product. Turns a great set of headphones into a Google set of headphones.
$200. You guys aren't known for your great headphones. Stop bragging about Google headphones.
That was a sneak peek at the all-new Google Pixel Buds.
Oh, it's a sneak peek. They're
So
not
you
ready.
can start to get an idea of what ambient computing feels like. With Pixel Buds, help is there when you want it, and the experience just comes to you, even when your phone's not in your hand.
Potato Dan, thank you.
For instance, you can get hands-free access to the assistant. So instead of turning to your phone for quick tasks, you can just say, "Hey, Google," and ask the assistant for whatever you need. Resume your podcast, send a quick text,
You can do that
corrections,
hands-free from your phone
or even
anyway.
understand another language with Google Translate. Pixel Buds even have a long-range Bluetooth connection, which keeps you connected even when your phone isn't by your side. So you can wear them in the yard when your phone might be charging inside, or leave your phone in a locker if you're working out in a gym. Indoors,
Thank you,
Pixel Buds will
Bluetooth.
stay connected up to 3 rooms away. And outside, they'll work across an entire football field. Of
Wow.
course, Pixel Buds
Because you're going to hate
won't
the
be
Pixel
truly
4. You're not
helpful
going to want to take it
unless
anywhere.
they're also great headphones. They have to have excellent sound quality. They've got to be comfortable to wear all the time. And they need to last long enough to be useful. That's a lot to ask of a pair of headphones.
No, it isn't. We've
Especially
had it for
because
years.
they also need to be unobtrusive too. So we did some intricate origami with Pixel Buds to make sure everything fit.
Origami.
Custom speakers, sensors, custom battery. That's usually what makes these wireless earbuds stick so far out of your ears. But Pixel
Careful.
Buds gives you plenty of battery life. You'll have 5 hours of
It's the same-
continuous listening time on a single charge.
It's the exact same battery
and up to
performance
24 hours
as 3-year-old
when you're
AirPods.
using the wireless charging case. Now, even with all those components and long battery life, you can see Pixel Buds fits almost flush with the ear. They're
That's kinda
so
weird.
small and light, it's easy to forget you're wearing them.
But the microphone sucks.
At the same time, Pixel Buds deliver excellent sound quality. Now, you typically have to choose between great sound and awareness of the world around you. But Pixel Buds gives you both with a unique hybrid design. The earbuds gently seal the ear for rich bass and clear highs, and the spatial vent underneath reduces that plugged ear feeling and lets through just the right amount of environmental sound.
Perfect.
On the software side,
Thank you for
Pixel
the
Buds
vent.
respond to your surroundings with the new adaptive sound. The volume dynamically adjusts as you move from the quiet of your home
What?
to a subway or noisy cafe.
No, don't
and you
change
don't
my
have to
volume.
constantly raise or lower the volume.
Don't do that.
When you're on a call, beam-forming mics focus on your voice.
Yeah, Galaxy
while
Buds said
voice
that, and their audio
accelerometers
sucked.
detect speech through your jawbone. So a loud restaurant or a windy day won't get in the way of your conversation.
We'll raise the volume for you.
Pixel Buds will be available in the
Stop.
spring of next year, and we'll share more details in the coming months,
Wait, what?
including a few of the helpful experiences that make good use of the on-device machine learning chips.
They're not even ready yet, and they're more expensive
So
than
as you can
AirPods?
see, this ambient computing era is going to bring all kinds of new interfaces, services, and devices.
Thank you, Michael, for the Twitch
But
Prime.
it's also introducing new challenges.
They're
When
not even
computing's
ready
always
yet.
available, designing for security and privacy becomes more important than ever. You need to know that
Privacy.
your data's safe.
Here we go.
Protecting your data and respecting your privacy are at the core of everything we do.
Yeah.
We've designed
Right.
strong protections across our hardware family, like the Titan security chip in our phones and laptops. Titan protects your most personal on-device information.
Titan.
OS data, passwords, even information in third-party apps. And we know that privacy is personal, which is why you have the controls so that you can choose the settings you want that are right for you. We make
DJ
it
says,
easy
wow,
to
this keynote is an
access
awkward
simple
joke.
on-off controls, including turning cameras and mics on your Nest devices off. And you can now
Thank you for the
delete
Twitch Prime.
assistant data just by
Oh, sorry.
asking.
Tier 2 sub.
Everything is designed with your privacy in mind.
You can tell the Google
you'll see
Assistant
examples
to
of that
delete all
throughout
of the
today's
data they
presentation.
have on you.
Now, we're also going to talk today about our work to create more sustainable products and processes.
I don't think they want to talk
Developing
about the
sustainable
Pixel 4 at
solutions to
all.
Mass production and consumption is one of the biggest challenges we face today as an industry. It impacts all of us, and it will for generations to come. Now, we believe Google has both the ability and the responsibility to create systemic change. As a company, we've been focused on sustainability for a long time.
What?
Google's operations have been carbon neutral since 2007. And for the past 2 years, we've matched
the
all of
search
Google's
engine?
energy consumption with 100% renewable energy. And we're continuing to expand access to clean energy to more people, including
This
our
keynote's
suppliers
all over the place.
and the communities where our products are made.
Here's
so
the
today,
assistant,
we're
here's the
announcing
buds.
that Google's committing to invest another $150 million
Here's the
in
environment.
renewable energy projects in key manufacturing regions.
That's chump
Our
change.
investment
For you guys, that's nothing. That's like all the money you made off the Pixel line.
Our investment, alongside financial and manufacturing partners, aims to catalyze $1.5 billion of capital. Now, this will generate approximately the same amount of renewable energy as the electricity used to manufacture made by Google products.
Oh, which is like no
So
electricity.
when you choose to buy hardware products from Google, you're contributing to bringing renewable energy to communities around the world.
Are they made out of recycled aluminum?
Sustainable, secure and private, and of course, helpful.
Helpful.
That's
yeah,
the
right.
Google way to make hardware and services.
An ultra wide's helpful.
Now, we're excited to share with you how we build these principles into our products. And here's Ivy Ross, who leads our design team, who's going to talk about some of our recent work in responsible manufacturing and design.
Why are they acting like the Pixel 4 has like existed for years? They haven't even announced it. They were just like, here it is. Anyway,
Thanks, Rick.
energy.
I'm happy to be back in New York to discuss our design philosophy at Google and tell you about a few things that we've been working on.
CEO's not here, is he?
I grew up not too far from here in the Bronx.
He can't even
and
get
my
up.
dad was a designer, industrial designer too, and he worked for the legendary industrial designer Raymond Loewy on automobiles and a lot of other consumer goods.
Okay.
When I was little, he even made me my own little roadster. I
Why
can
are,
remember spending hours in his studio as a kid, tinkering with different tools and materials. And
why are we
something I
doing
learned
this?
Something I learned early on is that at its core, design is about solving problems for people.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're designing a building, an automobile, packaging, or even a phone, the goal is to create unique solutions to the world's challenges.
I want an ultra wide lens. That's
And
my challenge.
Sustainability is one of the fundamental challenges of our generation. You know, when you look at how most things are made today, it just doesn't make sense.
What?
In all too many cases, devices are manufactured with dirty energy from precious minerals and materials. They're rapidly depleted.
When you only have to make
And with
10
technology
phones,
that
it's a lot
becomes
easier.
Obsolete in a short time and then thrown away. Right now, we're truly looking at sustainability from every angle. For
If her
years,
job is to get me
we've been
excited,
pushing
she's doing
what's
a bad
possible in
job.
Design, manufacturing, and new materials. We've been able to include recycled plastics in products like Chromecast and the new Stadia controller. And today I'm
Those-
happy to share that all of our Nest products launching in 2019 include recycled plastics. Instead of these materials ending up in the ocean or in landfill,
You were
we're
expecting
giving them
applause
new
there,
life.
weren't you?
We've designed and engineered
There was like a
the
big
fabric
pause
on our
right
Nest
there.
Mini
Everyone was like-
speaker, so it's made from 100% recycled plastic bottles. A single half-liter bottle produces enough textiles to cover more than 2 Nest Minis.
Great.
And we didn't compromise on aesthetics or function. We created
Why don't you just stop
beautiful
making
recycled
hardware? Then there'd be
fabrics and
less
colors
waste.
that blend into your home. while hitting the same rigorous technical and acoustical requirements. We continue to focus on products that empower people to reduce their own environmental impact as
God,
well.
please tell me
Our
she's
Nest
the
team has been
one
at the
presenter
forefront
during
of
this
these
whole
efforts
event.
since 2011. And as of this month, Nest thermostats have helped consumers save more than 41 billion kilowatts hours of energy,
How do they do
enough to power all of Denver's electricity needs for 6 years.
Thank you, Google. That one got applause. Okay.
Rick just filled you in on our new renewable energy investment.
Please
And
clap.
as of last month, Google is offsetting 100% of the carbon generated by our shipping partners for all customer orders. We have so much more to do, but by
Here's
working
the
with our
desert.
suppliers, manufacturers on these
Sand.
initiatives, our goal is to clear the way for the entire industry and our planet to benefit.
You do this at the beginning,
Another
and then you go into
sustainability
hardware.
goal is simply reducing the amount of hardware you need to buy in the first place. What if you didn't need to upgrade a bulky new game console every few years?
We're going to make you stop buying
With
hardware
Stadia,
by
we're
making
actually
such crappy
consolidating
hardware.
devices, so the only hardware you need is a controller and a screen to play your games anywhere, anytime. To give people a great gaming experience, we designed the first cloud-based controller.
Have it work with Xbox controllers,
great
then we don't
design
need to buy
isn't
yours.
just about how something looks. It's also about how it feels. And subtle design differences can have a profound effect. And we wanted the controller to be comfortable in the hands of all gamers. We found design inspiration in some
She's a
unlikely
major gamer.
places.
She plays on her Stadia controller all the time.
Hey, how's it going? Good, man.
Who's this guy? Why does he go everywhere?
When I go to these really nice kitchens, they all have these simple knives. Like, none of them look like the grocery store knives with all the grips and
What are we
details.
talking
It's
about?
really uncomfortable if you rotate your hand around. The reason why most professional kitchens have knives like this is you can use it in many ways.
What are we
So
talking
that's
about?
The starting point for the controller. We
What?
literally took a knife handle and we bent it. Like, we're on to something. Yeah. So from there, that one ancestor.
We took a
basically
knife
had
handle
hundreds
and we
and
bent
hundreds
it.
of kids. I kept building on it patiently until it.
Gaming is
became
like
it.
cooking.
And it's made for small and large hands, so it's super usable for.
So it's made for
large
hands.
segment of gamers that aren't always appreciated.
Jason was
You just took a
very
PlayStation and
insistent that we
Xbox
have a
controller and
non-visible
mixed
screw
them.
design.
Super important to give it that nice, clean look instead of punching a bunch of holes onto the back.
That was one of the biggest challenges for product design. We think it's really worth it. It makes it very comfortable in the hand and seamless.
None
and
of these
visually.
people look like gamers.
Oh, wow. That was impressive. Good work.
We worked with thousands of people playing hours and hours of games to test our controller against all of its limits.
Sure you did.
It needs to feel right for as many people as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Putting people at the center of our design is integral to our process and our principles. Whether it's hardware or software, creating
That's not a
truly
real
helpful
photo.
products for people starts with empathy.
No one would use the Pixel book.
One of our earliest projects we tackled within Hardware Team was designing a new kind of laptop that could deliver performance and versatility in a truly beautiful form.
No, don't
We
worry
wanted
about.
to physically embody the speed and simplicity that people love about Chrome OS.
No.
The result
It's
was
the
original
cheapness.
Pixelbook. The response was great.
No, it wasn't.
People really loved the award-winning design.
No, they
the
didn't.
keyboard.
Nope.
And the speed.
No, there was no speed.
So over the past couple of years,
Thank you,
we've
C.
been
Wobbs
working really
and Great
hard
Dane.
to bring that kind of experience to even more people at a more affordable price.
$300?
I actually believe that you can be more creative when designing within constraints.
Okay.
So once again, we started with our users' needs, especially portability and battery life. We wanted to create a thin and light laptop
The
that
heck?
was really fast and also have it last all day.
What's with the back?
And of course, we wanted it to look and feel beautiful.
Like a MacBook.
We landed on Pixelbook Go. The design is so distinctive with
No,
an
it is.
incredibly light magnesium that lets us create a very smooth matte finish in great colors.
It looks exactly like a MacBook.
Pixelbook Go comes in just black and not pink, one of the iconic colors we introduced on Pixel 3. And we created a new rippled, wavy bottom.
Grippable.
It's easy to grip.
I want to grip my laptop.
Pixelbook Go is lighter than Pixelbook, but we still managed to add a battery that is 15% larger, making
Wow.
it easier to keep working all day.
You can type Google Docs so long.
We also spent a lot of time making sure the keyboard is comfortable and quiet. We took all of our learnings from the original Pixelbook and really
Hush
refined
keys.
the design.
Look,
We
even the
ended up
speaker
with
grill.
keys that feel great to use and are even quieter than the original.
Wow!
And with Chrome OS, Pixelbook Go is always fast, secure.
Starts in
and
seconds.
all
There's
your
nothing to
devices
start.
Stay in sync with
It
each
runs
other.
Chrome. That's all it does.
Everything about Pixelbook Go is designed to address real user needs for an
God.
affordable price.
Not the Core M3.
You can pre-order it
$650.
now in just black,
Nah.
with not pink coming soon.
Let's see how it lags.
Next up, my colleague Rishi Chandra will tell you about the work we've been doing to make life at home
Just
a
get an
little
iPad.
easier.
Just get an iPad. $64 gigs, Core M3 for $650.
Hey everyone, I'm
Yeah,
excited
no.
to give an update on Google Nest and our mission to create the helpful home. So last month, we launched Nest Hub Max, which is a great example of the power of ambient computing.
Maximum
See your photos
overdrive.
come to life with a screen that automatically adjusts to your lighting conditions. Pause your music and videos with a simple hand gesture. And it automatically adjusts the information it controls
I wanna
based
stop
on
this
your
live stream.
proximity to the device. At Nest, we want to put people first and build technology around their needs. Difference between just being smart and being
Why is it
truly
jumping?
helpful.
My
So while
bandwidth
the
is
rest of
fine.
the industry's focus on standalone devices, our focus is on building whole home solutions that bring together technology to provide real help for real homes. And the most important place to get this right is privacy.
Oh,
It's your home.
privacy
The most
count.
personal private space in your life.
More privacy.
So in May, we published a clear set of privacy commitments, which helps you understand how our technology works. Today, we want to share how these commitments extend beyond Google to our third-party ecosystem of partners. So we're announcing an update to our Works with Google Assistant program. We're working with partners to migrate their existing Works with Nest integrations that people know and love, but doing it built on a foundation of privacy and security.
Oh, because you
For
didn't have
example,
that
We're
before.
requiring partners to pass a security review before they can even request access to your Nest devices. You should have confidence in how Google and its partners are protecting your home data.
We don't believe you.
And then you can focus on instead the great benefits of the helpful home. For example, let's talk about home audio.
Oh, God.
It used to cost thousands of dollars in a professional installation if you wanted seamless audio throughout your home.
Now it costs hundreds
Google
of dollars.
changed all that with a whole home audio solution that is simple, affordable, and sounds great. It started several years ago with the launch of Chromecast, making it easy to use your phone or your voice to play content on your favorite devices. And with Google Home Mini, home audio got even more affordable with a great sounding speaker with multi-room support.
Wow.
And with Nest Hub Max, you now have a home media control center right on your smart display.
Yeah, a tablet you can't take
It all
anywhere.
works seamlessly together with Stream Transfer, where you can naturally move content around your home. So for example, I can start a playlist or watch a show on my Nest Hub Max in the kitchen. And when I'm done cooking, just say, hey Google, move this to the living room TV.
You're setting off everybody's
And
devices
it'll
right
pick
now.
up right where I left off. It's really easy. Now, for a lot of people,
I'm
Google
shook.
Home Mini was a perfect starter kit for your audio system. And today, we're introducing the next generation, Nest Mini. It's even more capable
What?
with the same affordable price point
What
and the
different?
same iconic design.
Is it chunk?
So let's start with the design.
Is it big chunk?
Colors really help Mini blend naturally into your home. And you now have a new color option called Sky. And as Ivy mentioned, all
It's
of our fabric is
frickin'
made
blue.
from 100% recycled plastic bottles. Now, we also heard from you,
So many
you want a little
bottles.
more flexibility of where to place Mini. So we added a simple wall mount. It really looks great anywhere in your home.
Which is kind of ugly.
Now, the original Mini was designed to pack in great sound in a really small form. And with Nest Mini, you get even better quality sound. 2x stronger bass and even more clear and natural sound. And for those times when your home gets loud, like it does at mine, we added a third mic to hear you better in noisy
Ooh,
environments.
Solo Pro looks nice.
Nest Mini also got a really cool new superpower. There's a dedicated machine learning chip with up to 1 teraops of compute.
1 teraops.
So for
Oh
the
my
first
God.
time, core experiences of the Google
Look at this,
Assistant
guys.
in the data center and be moved instead to run
$300
locally on your
noise
device.
canceling. What is that? A Lightning?
Simply put, things are going to get a lot faster as it learns your family's most frequent commands.
Voice capability. Cool.
Finally, Nest Mini also powers an amazing home communication system.
Oh, sorry.
A home intercom.
I should
so
probably.
you can talk room to room. A home alert system telling you who's at the front door. A home phone allowing you to call anyone in the world
Mary's
for
at the
free
front door.
using
How does
Google
it
Duo.
know it? Whatever.
I can even use my phone to call my Nest devices.
Thank you, Scott, for the Twitch Prime.
It works great for those times I'm leaving work and I want to ask the family what they want for dinner.
Look at that old phone.
So that's the new Nest Mini.
Bring it back.
Our next step in bringing seamless audio and communication to more homes around the world.
I'm going to read more about this.
Okay, now let's talk about home awareness. One of our core products is Nest Aware, which combined with our Nest Cams provides intelligent alerts and camera history. Now, lots of our users have multiple cameras, and we've heard from you that our Nest Aware pricing can get a little expensive and complicated.
Multiple cameras.
So today, we're announcing a new whole home pricing model.
No need.
For 1 monthly rate, you get Nest Aware support across all your Nest devices in your home. So whether you have 2 cameras or you have 10 cameras, you pay the same monthly rate. And you can choose between 2 different pricing plans, depending on your needs. We even added more video history. The new Nest Aware will be rolling out
I'm not
early next
interested
year,
in this
and it'll be
subject.
easy to switch over your existing plan. Now, as part of the new Nest Aware subscription, we're also unlocking the power of speakers and displays to be part of your home awareness system. So devices like Nest Mini or Nest Hub can be your ears.
Even he's getting
when you're on
confused with the
road or
wording
on
here.
vacation.
What the frick did we
use
call this?
on-device AI, sound detection AI, to pick up critical sounds like barking dogs or smoke and carbon monoxide alarms. And we send an alert to your phone.
Your dog is barking.
Now in one go,
Warning,
even those
warning.
basic smoke alarms become smart smoke alarms.
Mm.
And when you get an alert, you have the option to hear the alert or listen live to confirm the alarm.
Cool.
Now, if it is an emergency, the home app can directly connect you to the 911 call center closest to you, regardless of where in the world you are.
That's good.
So in those critical moments, the last thing you want to do is scramble to find a local emergency dispatcher. Now, these notifications will be part of the new home app, which actually includes a new feature called the Home Feed. It brings together all the notifications and snippets from your devices, organizes them, and highlights the important stuff. So you can quickly see priority items, or you get a general
Why
recap
does the Pixel
of the
4
day.
look so bad? Look at the
So
corners.
that's the new Nest Aware.
They just look, but
More
that's an old
affordable,
Pixel.
with more features and support for more devices. Okay, finally, let's talk about home connectivity.
No.
You can have the best home setup in the world, but it's nothing without great Wi-Fi coverage. That's why we launched Google Wi-Fi 3 years ago. And
Goody.
since launch, it has been the #1 selling mesh Wi-Fi system on the market.
Take this
in
and try to
2019, it is
survive
the
this.
top-selling router of any kind.
Thank you, mechanic. Appreciate it.
And it's a router that actually gets better over time with automatic updates to add parental controls.
There's
improve
15
performance,
updates when it launches?
and enable Google's latest security features. Well, today we're also updating the hardware with Nest Wi-Fi. Now, the Nest Wi-Fi system is actually 2 devices.
I feel like this
The
is a
router
Nest
plugs into your
keynote.
modem and creates a powerful home network. The Point expands your coverage. Now, working together, they create a single strong Wi-Fi connection throughout your entire home. And our updated hardware and software delivers up to 2x the speed and up to 25% better coverage.
They're not going to talk about the
So
Pixel
now,
4 today, are
the
they?
Nest Wi-Fi system only needs 1 router and 1 point to cover around 85% of homes in the US. Now, we're
Most
also
homes are
solving
tiny.
a common problem you find with routers today. Most of them get hidden in a closet or cabinet because, truthfully, they're pretty ugly, which reduces their signal intention by 50%.
Darn.
Nest Wi-Fi is designed to be out in the open, where it performs at its best, with the range of colors that will naturally blend into your home. And of course, it's really simple to use.
Looks weird.
With the Google Home app, you can set up your Nest Wi-Fi network in minutes. And once you're set up, it's easy to share your Wi-Fi password, manage your network, set a schedule for the kids, or create a guest network.
Are you embarrassed by this phone?
Nest Wi-Fi also provides the foundation for your smart home connectivity. We're working with a growing list of partners to enable seamless setup in the Home app. And with support for BLE and Thread, we can talk to smart home devices locally, so you don't have to buy a separate hub. Wow! Stay tuned for even more partner announcements over the next few months.
I'll stay tuned.
Lastly, we added a Google Assistant smart speaker.
He said
to the
finally,
Nest
and then
Wi-Fi
lastly.
point. So it does everything the Nest Mini does. Plays your music with great sound, provides answers to your questions, and lets you control smart devices with just your voice. So now you can broadcast a message to your kids that it's time for dinner. And if that doesn't work, try saying, "Hey Google, pause Wi-Fi for kids' devices."
You just
Pretty sure
turned
that'll
off
work.
so many kids' devices just now.
So that's the new Nest Wi-Fi. Better coverage, smart home support, and the Google Assistant.
$350?
It'll be available starting on November 4th.
Mm.
With new
Hard pass.
affordable home solutions for audio, awareness, and connectivity, everyone now can start building their own helpful home.
Yeah, just get
Thank
the
you.
Nest every time. Why get the Nest Mini?
Right now in Mountain View, it's 68 and sunny. Today,
You
it'll
don't
be
need a
sunny
video
with
for this.
forecasted
Hey, look, a
high of
HomePod.
72 and a low
Hey
of
Google, volume 10. Hey John, can you come here for a sec?
So you use this room to test.
Right. So we use this type of setting to really stress the microphones.
Okay.
Right
Why
now,
is
I'm talking
John
to it this
exploring
way, but
every
sometimes
aspect of
Our
Google?
devices are higher and sometimes they're lower.
What is with her glasses?
Yeah, exactly. You know, because it's going to be in so many rooms, it's sort of a privilege to, you know, like, we got to get this right, you know. I
like how they
come
use an
from
HP.
a family of immigrants, and they all have accents. And it's important for me to design products that, you know, my parents can use, and that it works for everyone. At Google, like, everyone sort of has their slogan of like what their passion is. And on mine, it's actually be heard. It obviously goes into like the stuff that I work on, but also, you know, speaking up when things don't feel right. What this represents is
I didn't feel
you know,
heard
to
when
hear
you kicked
Google
me out of
Team's
Team
voice.
Pixel.
We got here because we worked together.
You know what's kind of cool about that is when multiple voices come together to express sound in a coherent and beautiful way.
Yeah.
We call that harmony.
There you go. Harmony. With Wi-Fi.
That was it? That was incredibly awkward. Harmony with Wi-Fi.
Hi, I'm Sabrina from the Pixel team.
Oh boy.
Now let's talk about how Google's ambient computing vision comes to life when you're on the go. Pixel 4 introduces entirely new helpful experiences with more natural interactions.
I think I'm gonna vomit.
Completely redesigned with a new look, a new color, and a beautiful new finish. And Pixel 4 includes camera features and sensors that you're not going to find on any other phone.
Are you joking?
Let's start there.
A telephoto lens.
5 years ago, our advanced technologies team began its project solely to investigate
We've had that
radar
for
capabilities.
years.
Radar's been around for a long time, and it's still one of the best ways to sense motion. It's precise, low power, and it's fast. There were lots of exciting possibilities. But here's what our first sensor looked like when we started working on Soli. Radar sensors have always been way too big to fit in a phone. So we shrunk it down into a tiny chip.
Because our phones
But
don't
that
need to find
still wasn't
airplanes.
small enough. So we had to shrink it down even more. Pixel 4 is the first smartphone with a radar sensor.
Who cares?
It powers the new motion sense capabilities for more human interactions with your phone. For instance, Pixel 4 has the fastest secure face unlock on a smartphone because the process starts before you've even picked up your phone.
It's always looking.
Motion Sense prepares the camera when you reach for your Pixel 4, so you don't need to tap the screen. It's so much faster and smoother.
Have you heard of Raise to Wake?
Motion Sense can power down your phone when you walk away and turn it back on when you approach your phone. It also lets you control your Pixel with simple gestures. Swipe to skip a song.
Yeah, we saw this months ago.
Silence a call. Wave hello to Pikachu.
I could do that on accident. Pikachu!
Working on a wide range of
I can
health-friendly
wave the
features,
Pikachu!
from gaming to personal wellness.
I'm sold.
Here's a quick look.
It's a very famous saying that any advanced technology becomes.
Is that it? Was that the only demos they had?
That's one of the things we talked about with Soli. It's a magical sensor.
I did it! I touched without touching!
Radar has a lot of very interesting properties that would be very useful for human-computer interaction. You can shrink it down.
All of this is now in there.
That's right, yeah. It can sense through materials. It's extremely sensitive for motion.
And so we build this new interaction paradigm based on the understanding of body language.
You got to show more use cases than that.
How can we make the language of interaction with technology closer to what we do naturally in the real world?
Then, of course, we really need to test to distinguish between intentional and unintentional gestures. Just because I wave on top of the device doesn't mean that I want to skip a song. If I pick up coffee cup, this gesture is very similar to a swipe. And this is really important. Then I can do this, and it actually works. With Soli, we can try to understand more about the implicit behavior.
That's not a common
The
situation.
phone knows earlier what your intention is.
Exactly. Okay. Let's say the alarm goes off, really annoying. As you reach, we can lower the volume. The phone is more polite, and then you can just do a gesture to shut it off. This moment of understanding
You can just tap it.
happen all the time between us, but they never happen with technology. What we can do with radar is to actually capture aspect of non-verbal communication. And as a first step in Pixel 4 with Motion Sense is to get as close as possible to the intuitiveness of verbal interaction.
Since the Soli sensor can detect the environment
Audience
around
is
Pixel
completely
4,
silent.
privacy had to be built in from the start. You can turn Motion Sense on or off at any time, and when it's on, all of the sensor's data is processed right on your Pixel.
Well, yeah, it better be.
It's never saved or shared with other Google services. And Motion Sense isn't the only way we're making your phone interactions faster and more natural. The Google Assistant is now deeply integrated into Pixel 4's OS and across your apps.
That was all the radar
You
chip can
quickly
do?
Open apps, search across your phone, share what's on your screen, and a lot more.
What just happened?
The Assistant can simplify multitasking too, with a clean, new interface. Check this out. Just give Pixel 4 a quick squeeze. Show me Maggie Rogers on
I don't want to
Twitter.
squeeze nothing.
What are her concert dates? Share this with Vivian. Reply, let's go see her. Open Ticketmaster.com. Search for Maggie Rogers events. A key way we're making the Assistant this fast is with an on-device version of our language models that run in our data center. So they
Okay.
can run locally right on your Pixel 4. This means the new Assistant uses a hybrid model. It can respond to many day-to-day requests on device, like starting a timer, while connecting for requests like, is my flight on time? You also have new ways
You can
to
just
manage
look.
your data.
I mean,
Choose a time limit for how long you want your activity data to be saved in your Google account. Or just tell the Assistant to delete everything you said to it today or this week, and it will.
it should do that
You're
by
in
default.
control. And you can get more details by asking, hey Google, how do you keep my data safe? We're taking the same care to protect your on-device
That's a
data
bit of a
too.
biased third party.
With Titan M and other security features,
First party.
last year's Pixel 3 scored the highest for built-in security for a smartphone, according to Gartner.
Who?
We built Titan M into Pixel 4 as well.
According to
protect
who?
Your most sensitive on-device data, like your passwords, your OS data, and now your face unlock model.
The best security?
Your phone has some of your most personal, private information, and we have a responsibility to keep it safe and secure.
No one's talked about cameras yet.
Now, how many of you have tried a voice recorder app? I know I've tried a few, thinking I'll be able to get organized by recording notes to myself, interesting lectures, important events. But then I end up with a bunch of untitled audio clips that I really don't know what to do with.
Have you heard of voice
We
memos?
created a new kind of audio recorder that taps into our speech recognition and AI. Let's see it in action.
No one wanted this.
We've had a Pixel 4 recording the show for the past few minutes. As you can see, with one tap, I can get Recorder transcribing my words in real time as I'm saying them.
Dictation.
Now,
Why did
to
they cheer
show
for
this
that?
is live, it is now 10:44, and it's pretty accurate. This means you can transcribe meetings, lectures, interviews, or anything you want to save. Eric backstage is going to save this recording. And now I can go into the search bar and find whatever I'm looking for.
Voice memos
I can search for
automatically names it
sounds,
wherever the
words,
location was you
phrases.
recorded it.
Let's see all the times I've mentioned Pixel across my entire library of recordings. The places where the word Pixel are said are highlighted in yellow in the playback bar, so you can dive into the
This is
exact
an
part of the
app.
recording
This
you're
isn't a
looking for.
hardware feature.
It's pretty cool.
Is this coming to the Play Store?
And you'll notice this phone is actually in airplane mode. All this recorder functionality happened on device.
So why am I recording on a plane?
Now, I want to take a minute to talk about Pixel 4's OLED display.
Oh, God.
DisplayMate has awarded Pixel 4 XL their highest score, an A+ rating, together with a Best Smartphone Display Award.
Yeah,
In
I
5
don't
key
know.
areas like color accuracy and image contrast, DisplayMate classified Pixel 4 XL's display as visually indistinguishable from perfect. Pixel 4 is also our first
There's a
smartphone
2 million
with
to
a
1
90
contrast
hertz
ratio on the
refresh rate.
iPhone.
And we've added some smarts. The refresh rate adjusts on its own depending on what you are doing.
It better. Your battery
So
life sucks.
You get a great visual experience while still preserving battery life. Pixel 4 brings
I don't
together
believe
so
you.
many helpful new technologies and capabilities. And you'll get the best Android experience with Android 10, and you're the first in line to get the latest OS updates and features. We also want to make sure you get the best experience out of the box. So Pixel 4 comes with 3 months of Google One for new eligible members. You get lots of premium
Then you have to
features,
pay for it?
including Pro sessions for one-on-one
So they back
virtual
up all
help.
the storage
So
and
if you
then
have a question about
charge
your
you for it?
settings or want a few tips for the camera, we're there for you. The new Pixel comes in 3 colors: Just Black, Clearly White, and a limited edition called
Oh, so
Orange.
That wasn't a secret.
It also comes in 2 sizes, both with the same features and both available for pre-order starting today. Shipping starts on October 24th.
Oh, you did not.
And we're excited that people will be able to
You're
find
not gonna
Pixel
talk about
in
the cameras.
even more places. We're expanding our carrier partnerships. So Pixel
They're not
4
talking about
is
the
now
cameras.
available through every major U.S. carrier.
They completely glossed over cameras.
Now, we didn't forget about the camera.
Oh, okay.
For
Here
the
we go.
past 3 years, Pixel set the standard for smartphone cameras with incredible capabilities like HDR+, Super Res Zoom, Top Shot, and of course, Night Sight. With Pixel 4, we're
Now what?
raising that bar yet again. And it all starts with this little square, basically a miniaturized camera rig right on the back of your phone. You can see the rear wide and telephoto cameras, a hyperspectral sensor, a mic for your videos and Instagram stories, and a flash that we hope you'll use mostly as a flashlight. But it's there just in case. But the hardware isn't what makes our camera so much better. The special sauce that makes our Pixel camera unique is our computational photography. And who better to talk about it than Professor Mark Lavoie from Google Research.
I thought she was going to say, then Marquez Brownlee. $800 is too much, especially for that look.
Thanks, Sabrina.
And
It's
One
great
Plus
to be here.
existing.
There's a saying among photographers that what's important to taking a great picture is
real-time
in
rendering.
order, subject, lighting, lens, and the camera body. It's their way of saying that it doesn't matter which SLR body you use unless you get the first 3 elements right. Well, here's a slightly different take.
A little late. Did
on
they
this
announce
list.
anything noteworthy?
Subject,
Nope.
lighting, lens, software.
Thank you, Matteo, for the
So-
Twitch Prime.
By software, I mean computational photography. So what does that mean? It means doing less with hardwired circuitry and more with code. I like to call it a software-defined
both!
camera. It typically means capturing and combining multiple pictures to make a single, better picture. One version of this is HDR+, the technology we've used for taking photos on every Pixel phone.
That doesn't look good.
When you tap the shutter button, we capture a burst of up to 9 pictures. These pictures are deliberately underexposed to avoid blowing out highlights.
This is how phones have done it
We
for
align
years.
them using software and average them, which reduces noise in the shadows. This lets us brighten the shadows, giving you detail in both the highlights and the shadows. In fact, there's a simple formula. Noise goes down as the square root of the number of images you average together. So if you use 9 images, you get 1/3 as much noise.
Are you going to software
This
your
isn't
ultra-wide?
mad science, it's just simple physics. By the way, on the left is our raw output if you enable that in the app.
That looks awful.
There's something else about this list. It says the lens is important. Without quibbling about the order on the list, some subjects are farther away than you'd like. So it does help telephoto shots to have a telephoto. So Pixel 4 has a roughly 2x telephoto lens plus our super res zoom technology.
So it is
In other
helpful
words,
to have a
a
telephoto
hybrid
lens.
of optical and digital zoom.
I thought
which we
no
use on
need.
both the main and telephoto lenses, so you get sharp imagery throughout the zoom range. Here's an example.
So this didn't
You
matter
probably
last
think
year.
This is a 1x
when
photo.
everyone else was doing
It's
it.
not. It's a zoom taken from way back here.
Wow, a telephoto lens.
By
We've
the
had
way,
this for 3 years.
Super Res Zoom is real multi-frame super resolution, meaning that pinch zooming before you take the shot gives you a sharper photo than cropping afterwards.
What?
So don't
It's sharper
crop
than
like
cropping?
this. Compose the shot you want by pinch zooming. Also, by the way, most popular SLR lenses do magnify scenes, not shrink them. So while wide angle can be fun, we think telephoto is more important.
Oh, F off!
So what new computational
Don't
photography
you
features
go
are we
against the
launching
whole
with Pixel
industry.
4?
You're going to add it next year and you know it.
First, Live HDR+. Everyone here is familiar with HDR+'s
They openly
signature
said
look
telephoto's
and its
more
ability to
fun.
capture extreme brights and darks in a way that looks crisp and natural. But even phones with good HDR solutions can't compute them in real time. So the viewfinder often looks different from the final image.
That's the
In this
Pixel
example,
problem.
The window is blown out on the viewfinder.
You guys can't
which
render
might tempt
anything in
you
real
into
time.
Fiddling with the exposure. This year, we're using machine learning to approximate HDR+ in the viewfinder. So you get our signature look while you compose.
How about portrait mode in the viewfinder?
We call this feature Live HDR+. So the industry's most successful HDR solution is now real-time and WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get.
What?
Now, if we have an intrinsically HDR camera, we should have HDR controls for it. So Pixel 4 has dual exposure controls. Here's an example.
You can't render anything in real
This
time,
is a nice
Google.
HDR+ shot, but maybe you would like to try it as a silhouette. So you tap on the screen and lower the brightness slider a bit. That mainly changes the capture exposure.
Look how thick that
Then
forehead
you lower
is.
the shadows slider a
Jeez.
lot. That mainly changes the tone mapping. And voila, you get a different artistic vision.
That looks weird.
Try doing that with any other cell phone.
I will.
So, separate
No
sliders
problem.
for brightness and shadows while you compose your shot. It's a different way of thinking about controlling exposure.
It's a
in
dumber
camera.
way of thinking. No one wants
Second,
it.
white balancing in photography is a hard problem. Mathematicians call it an ill-posed problem. Is this snow blue the way this SLR originally captured it? Or is it white snow illuminated by a blue sky?
This is a true tone
We
thing.
know that snow is white. With enough training, so can the camera. We've been using learning-based white balancing in night sight since Pixel 3. In Pixel 4, we're using it in all photo modes. So you get truer colors, especially in tricky lighting.
If the display can
Here's
show
a
it.
tough case, an ice cave. It's blue light, but not a blue person.
What is her
and
face?
here's what it looks like with Pixel 4's white balancing.
Is it weird that that looks
Third,
worse to me?
We've continued to improve portrait mode.
Real time?
With our dual pixel or split pixel technology, we've always been good at portraits and at macro shots. This year, we're computing depth, again using machine learning, from both dual pixels and dual cameras, which gives us accurate depth farther from the camera. This extends
I thought you
portrait
didn't
mode
need to.
large objects and stand further back portraits. We also have
Let's
a
put it on the
luscious
7
new
Plus.
SLR-like bokeh. That's the shape of the blur. Look at the lights on either side of her head.
We had that on the 10S.
We're doing better on hair and dog fur, which are hard. And of course, we still do great selfie portraits. Fourth and last, we have continued to improve night sight in many ways and extended it to a use case that has always been sort of a holy grail for me. You could have taken this dusk shot using Pixel 3 last year. Using Pixel 4,
I don't know about that.
you can take this nighttime picture from the same viewpoint.
How long was that exposure on? I've seen photos taken like that on older phones before.
In the year since we launched it, night sight has been called everything from fake to sorcery. Well, it's neither. Think back to the mathematics that I explained at the beginning. Astrophotography is about taking longer exposures and more of them, up to 16 seconds times 15 exposures. That's 4 minutes, but it's a single shutter press and it's fully automatic. By the way, you can't do this with a single long exposure. In 4 minutes, the stars do move and trees wave in the wind. So you need robust alignment and merging of multiple pictures.
Okay.
And for a 4-minute exposure, we do recommend a tripod, or you can prop your phone on a rock. Is there machine learning?
Was that a joke?
Yes. Machine learning? Yes. We use it for white balancing, as I mentioned. We also use semantic segmentation in all our photo modes and have for years to brighten faces in HDR+, a feature we call synthetic fill flash, to separate foregrounds from backgrounds.
Yeah, that
in
photo
portrait
looks weird.
shots,
That
and
10th
to
looks
darken
way more
and
lit than everything
denoise
else.
skies in night sight. Is there computational photography? There's
No.
lots of that too.
Of course
Digital
not.
sensors are prone to hot pixels that are stuck at red, green, or blue. The longer the exposure, the more hot pixels. Our exposures are pretty long, so we need some clever algorithms to remove those hot pixels. By the way, that's our astrophotography field testing team.
Looks like a bunch
And
of
yes, they
kids.
sat still for a long time for this shot.
It looks very blurry.
So where does this game stop? What can't we capture using Pixel 4?
4K at
Well,
60.
We can
Boom!
capture the moon, which, by the way, required some fiddling with those dual exposure controls I told you about. And we can capture a moonlit landscape. This is not daytime. It's the middle of the night, and the landscape is illuminated only by the moon. See the stars? But what we can't do,
Wow, stars.
including on Pixel 4 today, is
Ultra wide.
capture both at once in the same picture. The problem here is that the moon is blown out and the Marin headlands at the bottom are just a silhouette. The dynamic range, the difference in brightness between a full moon and a moonlit landscape is 19 f-stops. That's 19 doublings, about 500,000 times brighter, way beyond the range of any consumer camera, even an SLR. So, is this scene forever impossible with a cell phone? Remember what I said at the beginning about software-defined camera? Pixel is committed to making its cameras better with software updates. So stay tuned on this one. To sum up,
oh my God, that was awkward.
Live HDR+,
I thought he was going to follow that up
dual
with
exposure
something.
Controls, learning-based white balancing, wider range portrait mode with an SLR bokeh.
He was like, so I can't do this, but we might
and
later.
Remember, you can use night sight for many things besides stars. Many things. So go out there and be creative with Pixel 4.
Wow, that was awful. Why would you bring up what you can't? That guy had an Apple Watch. Just wanted to point that out.
Now, it's my honor to introduce one of my favorite artists, who has spent her career creating some of the most memorable photographs of the last 50 years.
It's been an
12
hour,
months ago,
Google.
We gave her a Pixel, and she's taken it all over the country to build a new collection of portraits. She also gives us suggestions and candid feedback, which we've taken to heart in the tuning of the Pixel 4 camera. So please welcome my friend Annie Leibovitz, along with our own Lily Lin.
Cut to the ceiling. Good job, Google. Okay, we hit the hour mark. Why do Google events move so much slower? I feel like this has been going on for 3 hours.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. This is an extraordinary opportunity that Google gave me.
Who puts their phone in that pocket?
I've always been interested in the camera phone and what it could do and what its potential was.
I love the camera phone.
Google came to me and said, we'd like to support you in some sort of artistic endeavor. And we thought of this project. And I mean, it's obvious what's interesting about a camera phone. I mean, it's is you can carry it in your pocket, for example. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, it's great. I know that you've been using the camera for over a year now to shoot a collection of photographs, some of which we're seeing the behind the scenes
Wait,
here.
she's had the Pixel 4 for a year?
The project?
Well, we started really with the Pixel 3, and I was very,
all the photos are like blurry.
Very, careful with it, and it really became an exercise in light and composition and content. And,
oh God!
And then when
like
Pixel
professionally
4 came
takes
along,
camera phone
I
pictures.
was kind of very impressed about how
I'm a
I
professional.
relaxed with it and just glided with it and used it and really just enjoyed taking pictures. I'm really towards the end of, I'm going to be doing more work, but towards the end of the work that we were doing, I felt like I was just beginning to sort of get it. And I just let the camera do the
Additional
work,
equipment
quite honestly,
used,
and really enjoyed
absolutely.
myself. But the project, the people,
Some of which we have here today, Nor and Chase and Idris.
Nor and Chase,
That guy's
I mean,
wearing
the
an Apple
people-
Watch.
I mean, the people made the project. I mean, we really turned to people who care and
This
people
is
who
sad.
matter and people who are doing
Holds up
things
iPhone
that
in
give us
shot.
hope
Yeah.
and across the board, and every single person that we photographed is doing something that they care about what they're doing, and they represent great parts of us who are getting on with it.
Change makers. I think, is
Speaking
what
of getting
I
on with
call
it.
them, true change makers around the country. So you've been traveling. Speaking of country, traveling across the country, shooting these amazing subjects.
When Google first came to me, they sort of totally seduced me by saying, "Would you like to drive across the country?" And then and that
No.
turned into, of course, going back to people. So. I don't know if you see what I did was I decided to take 2 photographs to create a portrait, and because it's hard to say what you want to say about a person.
I took 2
especially these
photos.
extraordinary people in one picture.
And I
so
put them
made it a diptyque
together.
And took two photographs. For example, with Sarah Zorn from the Citadel, there's a photograph of her.
Those don't go together, honey.
You know, almost on graduation day in her uniform, but next to her is a photograph of the boots she wore for 4 years, you know, every single day.
What? Why?
Well, so I have to ask, I'm so curious, because you have access to the world's best camera equipment. So how is it different with this project, just having what you have in your pocket?
It's on a
now?
phone.
What was that experience like?
Well, I've been using, like everyone else, you know, camera phones for a while, and the whole idea.
They act like
was,
she's
can
so
you use it
brave.
To go out and do work as a photographer.
You're so incredible to take photos with a
I was dying for
smartphone.
this opportunity, to be given this opportunity by Google to.
Those photos
sort of
look grainy, to be
you
honest.
know, the camera phone for a photographer and how to use it, and you know, as I said before, it was a little bit of a rough start, and then I just
Put the
relaxed,
brains
and
and the
I
bronze
really
together.
Totally enjoyed myself. One of the last shoots with Meg, the soccer player, it really felt like we were just floating. I mean, she was really a beautiful.
Floating?
Anyway, she was just a beautiful muse, and I took these photographs that I wasn't really thinking about the camera or thinking, you know, just really composing, and the light was beautiful.
That sounds like a pixel
She had
user.
that red
I wasn't really
shock of
thinking
hair
about the
and,
camera.
You know,
Great.
it was great.
That's great. Well, so
Great.
before we go, since I have you, I have to ask, what pro tips do you have for all of us here who want to take beautiful images like this with the phone in your pocket?
Oh, it's all inside you. I mean, you just go out and you do it. It's all there. I think.
You
what's
just
great
go out and do it.
About, you know, the camera phone. I mean, my children.
Stop calling it the camera phone.
Use this camera, and I mean, we
That's
all are
awkward.
using this camera, and it's a brand new language, and you know, if you want to do something more specific, then you know, then you may fall into another category, and you're a photographer, but. It's just really great that this is available for everyone to use.
Yeah, on cheaper hardware.
Photography is what I've heard you call it. So
I think it's great.
Thank you so much, and thank you. I wish we had more time, but I know you.
I wish
as
you
a
didn't.
Nord
You should have ended this
Idris, are
keynote
gonna be
30
sticking
minutes
around.
ago.
So thank you for that. Thanks for joining us on stage. And guys, Annie Leibovitz.
Okay. Thank you.
Are we done? Can we be done now?
Thank you so much, Andy.
Dang it!
Amazing project. We're all huge fans. That was awesome.
Wrap up. Wrap up.
Well, as you've seen today, our vision for ambient computing is to create a single, consistent experience across your home, your work.
That was
and on the go.
awful.
It's available anywhere you want it, whenever you need it. With the introduction of our new Pixel phone, Pixel Buds, Pixelbook Go, Nest Mini,
Ugh.
Nest Wi-Fi.
Egg
we're
Buds.
taking a big step towards this vision.
Pixel egg.
Much more to come. Now, we couldn't get to all the product experiences today, so if you're here with us in New York, there'll be a lot more product details to see upstairs in person. And for those on the live stream, please go to the Google Store online, see a lot more.
Yeah, you didn't
Thanks so
talk
much
about
for joining us today.
specs very
and we'll
much.
see you again soon. Thank you.
They did not bring up the Snapdragon chip at all. They did not bring up the RAM improvements. They did not bring up much. Okay. Let's see if, you know what? I'll leave this full screen, actually. Oh, that's not what I want to do. So, okay, the Soli chip was a complete undersold. Like, they teased it months ago, and they were like, hey, you can skip songs with it. And then at the event, they were like, yeah, that's about it. We tried to stuff all this radar technology into a phone so you can skip. They never brought up the iPhone. That's the funny thing. I mean, indirectly they did. They were like, now, some people like ultra-wide lenses, but telephoto's better. Google, that's going to backfire. You are going to implement an ultra-wide angle. Didn't you just have an ultra-wide angle? Last year you had an ultra-wide angle and you were like, yeah, it's helpful. You can fit more in the shot. This year you're like, no, zooming. Zooming's better. Oh, you can stop the alarm by waving your hand over the phone. Just press the phone. What's wrong with the touchscreen? You just touch it. The S4 could skip with gestures. Okay, let's go to their website because the keynote's over. Even though it was only an hour, that keynote felt very, very long. That felt like 3 hours long. Okay, let's go confirm B&H tech specs here. I'm going to try to use this terrible site. It always freezes on me. All right, tech specs. Here we go. No surprises here. Memory and storage caps out at 128 gig. There's not even a 256 gig option, and there's no expandable storage. Snapdragon 855, no 855 plus, so that was correct. 5.7-inch display on that one. Thank you, iFlyer, for the bits. It felt like a day long. Okay, normal fast charging. What about headphones? Is that the same? Inbox. What? Are there no headphones? They don't come with headphones anymore. Why would they take that out? They had that last year. The contrast ratio is 100,000 to 1. I know that. Video. What? Still. Oh my God. There's no headphone jack. No. They still can't get 4K at 60 on this thing, and the front camera is not capable of 60 FPS anything. For a fourth year in a row now, they've completely neglected the video market. 4K at 30 maximum. The front camera is only 8 megapixels. To give you guys perspective, the iPhone 11, which is $100 cheaper, has a 12 megapixel camera. What's the price? It's the same as last year. It's $800 for the Pixel 4 and I believe $900 for the Pixel 4 XL. Yep, $899. Unlocked. Just black. 2 storage options, 128 being 1,000. They had headphones in the Pixel 3 box. They took them out this year. I don't know why they did that. Ugh. 2,800 milliamp hours, the smallest battery on the market, literally. That is a tiny, tiny battery. They didn't talk about battery life at all. So I highly doubt it's going to be much better. What did they honestly change with the camera this year? So you can do long exposure shots for 4 minutes now, I guess. So it has that over the iPhone. But I bet there's third-party apps that do that. I mean, the Google Assistant works offline. I'm really concerned about the battery life. No touch required. Why do you want to remove the touchscreen? That's it. That's it. Okay, I'm looking at the part of the website. This website is horribly... I got to zoom in here. The Pixel stand is still there. That hasn't changed. The only features they have for the radar sensor is skip song, mute, ringer. That's it. You won't take 4-minute exposure shots that often anyway. No, I don't think so. That's a pretty rare occasion. The always-on display will be off when you are away from the phone using solely, saving battery life. I turn off the always-on display anyway, but I'm just saying, always-on display is not a huge drain in battery life on an Android phone. It's the 90 hertz that's going to be a huge drain on a 2,800 milliamp hour, and they did not talk about battery life at all. They didn't say it got better, which means it probably got worse. Yeah, there it is, 2,800 milliamps. Oof, that's not good. The case for the Pixel 4 looked like yikes. The 3 ones look better. They didn't talk about performance on the phone, video performance, battery, basics. Yeah, they left out very, very big things. All they talked about with the display was it was high rated by some company that has no idea what they're talking about. What's the contrast ratio is 100,000 to 1. The iPhone 10 is 10 times better than that. And that came out 2 years ago. Now on the latest iPhones, we have 2 million to 1. That's awful. That's not a good contrast ratio at all. There was no update on the speakers either. The speakers were exactly the same. Even though iPhone got Dolby Atmos support, I believe, this year. Only minimum 3 years of OS and security updates. iPhone's double that and cheaper. Wow. DxO Mark rated it. That's pretty bad. I mean, this event was pretty dang cringy, not gonna lie. Yeah, the telephoto lens part was a huge oversight. That was like, for them to openly on stage just be like, so here's a shot it can't do, but we might be able to later. Why would you bring that up? But the display is 90 hertz. Yeah, you can buy a OnePlus 7 Pro for like $500 now with a 90 hertz display, and there's no giant bezels. Look at how big these bezels are. We couldn't get to all the product experiences today. I'm sorry, what? You blew at least a quarter of this presentation talking about knife handles, recycling plastic bottles, and a meandering interview with a photographer. People are pissed, it seems. 20 bits from Gingermeister, thank you. You got your Face ID badge, nice. The camera phone. Oh yeah, this is gonna deserve a rant. You know, I don't even think I want to review this phone. If Google's not trying, why should I? They weren't excited for this phone. They kept referencing it randomly and not bringing up the Face Unlock is more secure than Face ID. No, they didn't say that. They barely talked about Face Unlock. They just said, they're like, it's there. There is a Face Unlock, I guess. 8 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigs of storage, and a Chromebook for $650. Even though it's cheaper, it's still pretty bad. Like, the iPhone 8 can do 4K at 60, and this still can't do it. iPhone XS has a very small battery. Yeah, but it has their own custom silicon chip. They're able to manage battery efficiency way better. They don't make anything custom. This was all Snapdragon. There's no fingerprint reader. They got rid of that. It does not have expandable storage. Nope, you are locked to 64 128 gigs. That's your only option. They didn't say it was the most secure Face Unlock. They said it was the fastest secure Face Unlock. Yeah. On Android, literally no third-party app supports Face Unlock, which means you can't log into apps with biometrics anymore. That's probably true. I doubt the third-party banking apps are going to support Face ID or that kind of thing. I think it can do 1080 at 60, but so could the Pixel 3. That's not different. It's just so boring. They just found a way to make the front and back of the phone look the most stale. I don't agree with what YouTubers were saying. This was exciting. Nothing about this phone was exciting. It has no standout feature. I don't get it. Like, the standout feature last year was night mode, and now everyone's caught up. And now, when everyone's adopted the ultra-wide lens, the Pixel's the one that's like, telephoto! Ugh. You have to pay extra storage now. No, this should be their last Pixel, honestly. Unless they make a 4A, make an affordable version of some kind. I don't agree with YouTubers that thought this was exciting. I really don't understand what about it is exciting. It's been years now, and they still can't keep up with the video performance of an iPhone. It can do 1080 at 120 FPS. So can my iPhones have done that for years. I believe they've done that for multiple years now. Morrison is tweeting out crying emojis. There's also no Wi-Fi 6, by the way. So iPhones have faster Wi-Fi speeds, I believe. This is very pathetic. This is just a joke. Google isn't going to stop, sadly. I wish they would. They don't know what they're doing here. But it was fun. I mean, I had a fun time talking about it with you guys. I had a fun time. It does not have 5G. That rumor was completely useless. There's no 5G version. But I don't care about that. It's just so insignificant of an upgrade. It's so many steps backwards. The iPhone 6S has 1080 at 120. Yeah, I mean, an iPhone with a headphone jack can do that. The Pixel is still the middle schooler of smartphone trends. They still think the old trends are still cool, and they don't catch up with the trend until it's dead. Yeah, I'll do a nice rant about this. This deserves a rant of how big of a joke it is. At least they didn't go up on stage and take a picture of with an iPhone and then take a picture of the Pixel 4 and be like, "See, ours is better." They were subtly jabbing at Apple, but not really. Also, there's only 0.6 inches between these two phones. They're kind of similar in size. 5.7 inches versus 6.3. And Apple's is both bigger on both aspects. The Pixel is a dev phone made only by dev for dev. I know, the iPhone 11 is a better Did Made by Google upload a video called Switch to Pixel Slate from iPad? That's a mistake. Oh, that was back in August. Okay. They talked, half the event was about Nest products. No, they got 4K at 60 on the iPhone 8. I agree Pixel's behind, but I want to make sure you guys get it right. The iPhone 6S has the same video recording capabilities as the Pixel 4. There's no 24 FPS option either, and there's no 60, so it's